My name is Samantha Mitchell. I go by Sam. I graduated from Kansas State University with my Master of Architecture and have about 10 years of design experience. I am also legally blind. I was diagnosed at the age of 13. I have a genetic eye disease called Stargardt's disease. It means my central vision starts to deteriorate. So I have low vision and need accommodations. Accessible design is important to me because it directly affects how independently and confidently I can move through a space. So I think accessible design is important when we're designing spaces so that people feel comfortable in the space, they feel included, and life with disabilities isn't easy and you just want to live a normal life. And so if we can design spaces that allow them to do that, I think that's ideal. From a personal perspective, I think wayfinding, we tend, as designers, we kind of maybe have a tendency to want to hide it or, make it clean and sleek, but it's really important that it's legible, that someone can move through a space. Take restrooms, for example, like how easily can someone with low vision or who's visually impaired find the restrooms? And I know that signage has Braille on it, but I don't utilize Braille, so graphics that are really clear so that I know which way to go and don't have to ask someone where the restroom is. I think really playing with ways to include everyone. As accessible design we started to use accessible design, we started to integrate it more and more earlier in the process, and I think that is fantastic rather than it being an afterthought. There are ADA standards. It's probably been a little while since they've been updated. I think we all need to think inclusively. Everybody just wants to live their life, and if we can accept and accommodate people and just let them feel comfortable in their own bodies with where they're at, and if we can do that through design, then I think that's a win. Foundation Fighting Blindness. They are a great organization that covers all kinds of eye diseases, and they do fundraising to do research, and they've really come a long way in their medical research. So even there are local chapters everywhere. There's a Kansas City chapter, and they have a vision walk each year. I've participated in that before and raised money. And then as far as social media, there is two blind brothers. They both have Stargardt's disease, which is the same disease I have. And they started this company and realized that they wanted to design clothes based on how they feel. And I believe all the clothes are even sewn by the visually impaired. And all the proceeds go to the Foundation Fighting Blindness for a cure for blindness. When I started at ACI, I requested 2 large monitors. So I requested like a 32-inch size monitor, and they provided those. And through the Windows operating system, I use custom scaling to make everything bigger, and I use the magnifier app. And in addition, they got me a large print keyboard that has high contrast keys, and it's something I didn't even know I needed. So it has really helped. And then I also want to give them a big credit for being so understanding when it comes to transportation. I use a local public transportation system. It's called Ride KC Freedom for the elderly and disabled. And I don't have a lot of control over what time I'm going to make it here because it's a share program. So I'm riding with other passengers, and they determine the schedule. So sometimes I get here early, sometimes I get here late. And everyone's been really understanding about that. And if we need to go to job sites outside of my regularly scheduled rides, everyone's been so thoughtful in helping with transportation.